no matter how big or small the mistake may seem at the time, and you can laugh at yourself a little bit. And you can realize that life goes on, and that no matter how many times you fall down, you just get back up and keep going, because that's how you succeed.
That's right.
So the way this is going to work is Thea and I are just going to say a little bit about what's going on in our own businesses for this week, just so that people that might be coming in that are from our tribes can be reminded about things that are going on. And then we will just jump right into talking about a valuable business lesson that Kelly learned. So I will start out, and I just want to remind all of my direct sellers out there to make sure that you're listening to my Promoting Direct Sales podcast that comes out on Mondays. And tomorrow is the very last day to watch the replay of the No More Canceled Parties webinar. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you go to the Facebook group, and that information is pinned to the top. All right, that's all I've got.
Sounds like you're busy, Raven.
I'm always
what's
busy.
going on?
I appear busy. I do it very well. It looks like I'm always busy.
Hey, yeah. This week, I'm kind of recovering a little bit because I just got back from Las Vegas, and I went to the big ASD show, which is all the wholesalers and looking for new products. So we actually stayed at Trump Towers, which was really nice and just more opulent than I expected. And the part I liked the most was that it didn't have a casino, so I didn't get tempted to walk by and put a nickel in a machine. So, but no, I spent 3 days walking around looking at stuff and found quite a few good things. So today I'm kind of it's that recovery of the time zone change and everything like that. So I'm looking forward to having a good week and getting some of that stuff in and start to process it. So.
Well, wonderful.
That's me.
And Kelly, I don't know if you noticed, but I have the same screen that you do.
Yes, I do. We all have screens behind us.
It's because nobody really
you don't want to
see.
There. Not want to see.
If anybody has questions as we go along, please make sure that you are putting it in there. I guess if you write whatever it is that you're trying to write and you write a /Q in the chat, it'll pop up on our screen to ask and answer the questions. So if you have any questions, please, by all means. So yeah, okay. So I'm so glad that you decided to come and join us and laugh at us and with us. And I know that, Kelly, you have got some fantastic stories because I've heard several of your stories. And you've certainly been in the internet marketing game for a while, so you've had time to collect some of these stories. So would you be willing to share with us tonight your most, let's put it this way, the story that has happened, the thing that happened to you that you've gained the most learning experience from? Let's put it that way.
Wow. Learning experience.
Yes. What have you learned the most from?
Oh, well, of course, my brain goes completely blank. So if there's an example you'd like to suggest, it's funny. When you named this blab, there's no crying in business.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminded of the first time I really cried about business. Because you can say there's no crying in business, but I'm a girl. So I cry about things. And I wanted to share early on in 2003, I started an internet radio show, Work at Home Moms Talk Radio. I was the only person I knew who was doing anything like that because it was all so new. And I was really excited. And for about 6 months, I owned the space. There's just no competition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then podcasting, the invention of podcasting went wide the following summer. And a few people started to hop in. Well, Cheryl Demas from wham.com, the Work at Home Mom website, started a podcast, The Wham Show. And when I saw it, I couldn't help it. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I just fell into this terrible, woesome pit of, well, now, everyone's going to want to listen to her show, and no one's going to want to listen to my show anymore because she's Cheryl Demas. And I just cried and cried about it. And I even picked up the phone and called my friend Alice. And I cried to her. I'm like, Cheryl started a podcast for working at home moms, and now blah, blah, blah. And Alice was the perfect person for me to talk to, because she basically said, snap out of it. What are you crying about, for one thing? You are not the only WAM website on the face of the internet. Yes, you got to own audio for a while, but, she won't be the only person who comes out with a work-at-home mom program. And so what if she is doing it? You're still going to be different. And she just slapped me up from across the country and snapped me out of it. And I'm so glad she did. I shook myself out of it. Alice taught me so much about embracing competitors.
Mm-hmm.
And not getting all worked up when somebody does something close to what I do. And so I did, and I do cry in business now and then, ladies. But that's one case where a friend was able to pull me out of it. And I learned that lesson so well at that point, because when I did listen to her show, I realized I had nothing to be afraid of. She had a completely different approach, a completely different style of program. And unfortunately, her show didn't survive more than 4 or 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And she went off the air. But many other people joined the space and covered the same topics, and it never affected me. It never reduced my audience or changed the trajectory of my business. So it really wasn't worth crying about.
I have a word for the competition that really isn't competition. I call it cooperation, because I think that we have a lot to share and learn from our competition. And the best thing to do with your competition is to work with them.
Yes. Yes. It's all possible. Yeah.
Can I make a special request, Hallie?
Yeah.
Will you tell us the coconut story? My coconuts.
What?
on the island where you don't want to share your coconuts?
Oh my gosh.
As she's that's some body language.
Well, it took me a minute to figure out what the heck you're talking about.
I know.
Well, this is about it's about competition and embracing competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah, well, I feel like you've already, I feel like I've already, well, when I was getting started in business, I needed every penny I earned. I needed, I had nothing to invest but time and effort. And so when the money started to flow, I needed all of it. And I didn't really want to share. I really didn't want to, I don't feel like I know what you're talking about with this. I shared this story in St. Petersburg a couple years ago. Basically, I started out being really afraid to share my space, afraid to share my audience, afraid to cooperate, very protective of my island, my coconuts, and realized that when you let other people come and be with you on your island, you're more successful and you're happier. I don't know if anybody watching this blab right now can relate to that feeling I had back then, that you had to be really protective of what was yours and really cautious about who you let come near you and your coconuts. But the sooner that you can let go of that, the sooner that you can embrace some other people, the more you realize, that holding yourself back from others is just holding yourself back from success. So
exactly. I think about that. You'll just hear me randomly say, my coconuts. That story that you told a few years ago that I heard. But whenever I think of coconuts, I think of you, Kelly.
It's so funny because today I don't have that attitude at all. I never feel the need to try to like protect my space or my anything.
Mm-mm.
I'm so open. I'm so community focused. I am so hungry to welcome new people into my community and into my circle, and to cooperate and see what other people do. It's like I'm so freaking excited that you two are doing this blab. That you two got to know each other. Did you meet for the first time at the beach house, or had you met previously at other events?
We met at NAM's.
Briefly, yeah. We met at NAM's. I think we did one dinner, but we were at the other side of the table, so we didn't really even get to really connect there. It was more of a, hi, I'm Raven, how are you, type thing. So we actually really met at the beach house. So
it's so excited to see what happens when you bring cool people together and let them, eat together and have fun together, brainstorm together, to see this come of it. The relationship that you have, the mix that you guys will create here, and the different people that you'll have on as guests, the community that will grow. I just can't wait to see what happens.
And for everybody,
hey, Kelly,
listening, I was just going to say, for everybody listening that is wondering what we're talking about with the beach, we're talking about the Beachpreneurs group, which is for women entrepreneurs only. There's people in all different types of internet marketing businesses that go there, but it's just a community where we connect with one another and really further our businesses, whatever they are. We share our coconuts.
Coconut water, coconut smoothies. Yes.
Flakes.
Yes.
Kelly, I was going to ask you a little bit. Your story reminded me of that need to have other people that we can talk to, that understand what we're going through. Because your family doesn't necessarily understand, or the people maybe around you. You have your Pete that you talk to and stuff, but being able to call Alice, I think it's so helpful to have either Facebook friends or somebody that you can say, I'm so scared, I'm so nervous, I'm so afraid, and I'm going to do it anyway, but I just want somebody to know that I'm afraid, because I just have to get that off my chest. It's kind of that understanding. And I know that has really helped me too. So, and I was going to ask you to talk a little bit more about competition and how it expands your base, so to speak, instead of being like, I always crack up because Walgreens and CVS are right across the street from each other.
Yes.
And Home Depot and Lowe's do the same thing. And I think to myself, that's a massacre for one or the other, but neither one of them goes out of business, and they continue to do that same philosophy. So I can only think that what happens is that more people know that that's where to go to get their prescriptions filled or their milk for the evening or whatever. And, you know, they just go there, and so there's more people kind of headed that way. It's kind of a mecca, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So all that said, can you talk a little bit about how competition has helped your growth and the growth of the space that you're in?
Yeah. First thing about CVS and Walgreens and Rite Aid, I shop all of those stores. And the number one deciding factor is how easily I can get in and out of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
How so full the parking lot is, yep.
It's so funny because I never shopped at CVS ever until I moved on the south side of this intersection. And suddenly the Rite Aid was out of my way because it was across the street.
Right.
And the CVS was so easy to get into. All of a sudden I was shopping at CVS. You know, every customer is listening to WIIFM. What's in it for me? What's fastest? What's easiest? What do I feel the best about participating in? And it's the same thing is true with our online world. I'm not the only person who teaches content marketing and podcasting and curation, and I'm not the only person who can help somebody plot out an offer funnel and start selling information products. But there's something about me that certain people just feel more comfortable with. You know, the new clients that come into my coaching business these days, they just come in ready to make a commitment, and they just say, I've checked you out. You feel like a great fit for me. I want what you've got going on, so let's go for it. You know, so okay, so back to how competition and cooperation has benefited me. All my best friends are my direct competitors. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, we should not like each other because sometimes we don't even agree. Like, I'm thinking about my bestest friend, Nicole. You know, we bicker because I think everyone should podcast, and she doesn't always think that podcasting is the right thing, and I just haven't been able to convince her in all these years. And yet we're close friends, close direct competitors. We sell the same kind of products. We do the same kind of coaching. And yet we get together and we do this beachpreneurs thing, and it just works. Sometimes what makes it work is the fact that we disagree. If we agreed on everything, you know, what would be the point of both of us being boring? You know, someone. So Nicole is a perfect example. Alice Seba is a perfect example. We have been direct competitors from the very beginning, but she just taught me so much about not seeing competitors as the enemy, seeing competitors as the path to making this work. You know, we started Mom Masterminds together in 2004. She sponsored my podcast from the very beginning. We just have always found ways to cooperate. Look at the PLR white label market we're all in, and we're all directly competing with each other, but we just all promote each other. It's not like anybody ever says, oh, darn, someone else is doing what I'm doing, so now I can't be their friend. It's, oh, yay, look, someone else is creating something awesome. I bet my people will buy. Mm-hmm. I wonder, because we're all affiliate program owners, we all earn money from each other's affiliate programs. I'd be really curious if that wasn't an element, if it would be the same way.
I think it would. I have a feeling it would, because it's still a matter of, like, for me, when I'm considering partnering with somebody else in my industry that does something similar to what I'm doing, I always think about the fact that the people that are in my tribe might get something better and have a better connection with one of my peers. So for me, and sometimes they don't have an affiliate program with the people that I work with. They're just simply, that's just not the way that they play it. But I'll still, tell my tribe about one of my competitors that might resonate better with them, or might be doing something different that I don't. And usually that's played back, and the competitor will do the same thing for me. But I think that, and then we, talk to them over time, and then they get affiliate programs because that makes more sense. But I think that especially with you and the people that are in your space, I can't imagine you not having the relationships that you do, even if there wasn't money involved. You know what I mean? I just, I get, that's what I get.
I always try to think, would I promote this if there wasn't an affiliate program? Is this something that, because it always, I think it always just comes through if you're doing it for that strict reason. So I really think about that. You reminded me a little bit ago, and I made a note, and I wanted to highlight this thing that you talked about with power. Feeling powerful and having power and more success. And I'm reminded that there's different kinds of power, and there's always when I used to work in a regular job, I would have people who wanted to hold on to information and withhold it from everybody and be the only person who knew, and you had to come to them and get that information, or the person that shared and said, look over here, this is going to happen, and look over here, this is going to happen. And that's what you do with your co-opetition. You say, look, here's a great product, here's a great information. And that actually makes you more valuable to those people. Exactly. Because they see you as a source of information and a source of valuable information. And that gives you that sort of power that people go, oh, if I want to know a good place to go, I'm going to ask Kelly, because she's always come through with good recommendations, instead of pretending like they're not all there and you're the only one that can give them all that information. So I think that's a great way of thinking of that lesson too, is sharing and getting that sort of referent power of being the knowledge, being the one that gives the knowledge. So anyway, but Kelly, you have something for everybody tonight, right? You have a product that you were going to talk to us about, because you talked about podcasting.
Yeah, I talked about podcasting. I have a course, Podcasting Smarts, that is, it is almost complete. It is available. You can sign up now. You can get access to it. There's just a couple lessons left to be developed for it, but it's ready to roll as far as all the technology of getting started with your podcast. I've been teaching podcasting like for almost as long as I've been doing podcasting, but I really needed my product to be completely updated. So I had retired about 1.5 years ago, and I just released it fresh with all new stuff. Podcasting has grown my business, and podcasting it's one of the reasons I think that competition is so natural, because I invite my competitors to be guests on my podcast. If you are looking for a way to create more relationships, if you're looking for a way to reach more people, a podcast is absolutely my recommendation. So if you would like to learn how to do that, I would encourage you to come sign up for my course.
Oh, wonderful. And looks like we have the link up there in the chat. Yes?
Yay!
Well, and the other thing is that podcasting is very similar to what we're doing here on Blab. So the way that you teach in there, anybody could transfer that over to doing Blab or another type of thing. I mean, you don't have to put on makeup to do it. If you have a face for radio, go ahead, and if that's how you're feeling. But if you do something else, it's definitely transferable to that too. So.
And podcasts can be done on any topic. It's great. There's the variety out there right now is just amazing.
I actually
go ahead, Kelly.
Go ahead. I started a podcast about coloring.
I love you. I love you.
So, there. I've found podcasts on every topic under the sun. Do you know there's a podcast on growing African violets?
Wow.
I can't
with
say
a
I
lot of
didn't know
episodes.
I'm speechless.
I'm like, with a lot of episodes. I mean, how much
there's
can you
one
talk about?
on like boats that people build in the little glass bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All that different stuff. There's podcasts on, lots of things.
People want to listen to stuff that they care about. They really, really do. And there are gaps. There are, I'm surprised sometimes when I go looking for something that I can't find a podcast on it yet. I know some people are worried that podcasting is too flooded, and it is not. It absolutely is not. There are new podcasts, that have come out in just the last few months that my friends have launched. Excuse me, and they are getting amazing downloads. It's like the world was just waiting for them to show up and start talking about what they do. So go for it. Don't hold back.
Well, I've heard Pat Flynn say that, he gets a lot of people when he says, "Where did you hear about me?" Your podcast.
Yeah.
So I just think the only thing wrong with podcasts is that you can't write while you're driving your car. So
take notes.
So I always have to kind of go back to that. But I do make a little note of the number. But anyway,
so no notes are for.
I love the fact that podcasts are passive.
Mm-hmm.
You can just listen to them while you're walking, while you're driving, and I love Sirius XM radio because you don't have to tune into a local station, and I tend to drive further distances than I like sometimes. So, and they have 80s and 90s radio, which, by the way, is when I grew up, so I love listening to it. And podcasts are the exact same thing. It's that, what is it that I want to listen to? Entrepreneurship, and who do I resonate with? So I think they're great. But I'm so glad you joined us tonight, Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you for being our first guest.
Thanks for having
me. All of our people that joined. We'll have another guest next week, and we'll do our best to be as dynamic and fun as we were tonight.
I don't know if we can do it without Kelly, because Kelly really is just so special. In a good way, not in a short bus way.
You two are going to have no trouble. You guys are going to fall in love with these gals. They are a hoot.
And we're not even trying.
We just want to have fun.
Yes.
So I hope we have fun. And you guys let us know questions or leave comments and tell us what you want to hear about in the future. So
leave nice comments. And if you have anybody that you think would make an awesome guest, please contact one of us and let us know, because we would love to have more awesome guests on our There's No Crying in Business show. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It is 1:30. So again, thank you so much, Kelly, for being with us tonight. And everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Bye. Bye-bye.